Have any of you noticed that drinking has been really the topic of a conversation we could just have on its own about these people and the bars? Well, they better be careful, Paul, because you're going to open up a can of worms. And by the way, bless John, okay? I'm not saying anything, but John was more intoxicated than Karen. He just wasn't driving. And I wonder if he wasn't intoxicated, if maybe he would have made it out that night, but I don't think so. I think he was ganged up on. I believe that was the motive. And yeah, so we're going to talk about Paul a little bit, and we're going to see just where this goes, because this guy is a problem and has been a problem for a long time. But I want to point something out to you, and maybe you haven't thought about this. You know, in that accident, that drinking, driving accident that Paul had that Karen bailed him out of, it said that he was going 24 miles an hour. Have you seen the pictures of the damage? Have you even thought about that person at 24 miles per hour that he hit, that he damaged? He was intoxicated. Now, here's what I want you to think about. They're saying that Karen Reed, in a snowstorm and showing signs of alcoholism and drunkenness, and yet she's backing up at 24 miles an hour. Why is 24 miles an hour a thing? Have we thought about that? Why is that such a thing? Backing up 24 miles an hour and hitting John? So we don't think that there would be more damage? Maybe sort of, kind of? I don't know. We're going to have to ask Crash Daddy. He's more of an expert than I am, which leads me to this. I am not a lawyer. I am not in law enforcement. I'm not a medical provider. And I'm no expert in those fields, but I am an expert in card reading. And I'm bringing this to you today because, well, we like to share our opinions, and I get guidance and direction from the cards, and you're welcome to have your own opinion because we just see where this is going. And that's what it's all about. That's what we want. So let's introduce the cards, and before we do that, please do me a favor and subscribe, like, and do all those things, right? Because I'm going to be here. I'm going to keep this coming to you. Now, here are the cards. The Kipper deck for the foundation, the Vintage Tarot, and then we've got our friend. I like this deck, and I liked it when we used it in the last reading. We're going to use it again. That is the Mythic Tarot. We have the Hidden deck, and then we have the House of Zelda cards. We're going to find out. We're going to see where all of this is going. And, by the way, we've had a day. It is the end. Mercury retrograde is over. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. That's right. It is over, folks. And have you seen the day? Have you seen? Now, some people say it was over technically yesterday or last night or maybe early this morning. From all my understanding, it was over at 5:14 p.m. Eastern today, but that didn't stop this wonderful news that we had for Sandra Birchmore, and I'm going to say, and her sweet little baby. Justice is just now starting, and justice is going to be coming, and I'm going to tell you something. I think if we look at these guys, Guarino, Gorillino, I'm going to tell you, if I had a chance to turn anybody into a frog, sorry, I shouldn't get that way. He was the one who whispered on the stand, "Kill me." Do you remember that? Well, this just may do it. I think there's a lot walking around tonight, including this Matthew Farwell's brother, I think they all have brown spots in their pants, if you know what I mean. And they should, because this is a little tidbit. This is just a little preview of things to come. Let's get started. Thank God, little sweet Sandra has the beginning of her justice, and her baby too. Bless her. Bless her. Bless her. Putting all of these little fellas to the side, and let's go. Now, this may be a short one because, my darlings, there's a lot that I gotta. And you know, the Las Vegas baby, the Las Vegas Tellus guy, he was found guilty today. There's just a lot going on. Oh, come on. That's why we're here. Here we are, laying the foundation, and it is this. Now, remember, I'm reading for Paul. I just want to touch base on Paul, and I want to see where things are going. No comment here. I'm going to take this out of the way so it maybe doesn't glare. Expectation. Oh yeah, Paul has a lot of expectation on this. Let's see. Now, we read on the lawsuit. I want to see the community. Well, once again, the community knows. False person. Yes, that is Paul. He's done a lot of things. There's a GoFundMe little thing. And look at this, a family room. Did I hear that he added on a room on his house? Today is August 28th of 2024. Bad health. That's for someone. We're going to leave it. Hello, yeah, we've got some silver bracelets headed out for a lot of people. They're just shining them up now. Thoughts. Yeah, they're thinking about that all right. We're going to lay out one more. How's that? Privileged lady, and that represents Karen. Okay, so let's just take a look at this. I think we really did lay the foundation here, because obviously Paul is expecting some things, some money, because he must be running out of it, from Karen. He's expecting this to happen. I think he's probably already spent it. Now, just as a little tidbit here, you do know that Paul and his parents are listed, and I think the niece are listed on there individually. Maybe not the niece, but Paul and his parents individually and together. So, as a group, they are suing, and individually they are suing. They want to cover all bases. Now, this community card, I think they're to the point where they're so sick and tired of all the fake, the false. I want you to know how many people are celebrating the beginning of justice for Sandra and her sweet baby. That monster. That monster. There are many that are around Paul that are thinking about this tonight. Rightfully so. This high honor card, well, it's not a good honor. I mean, it's almost as though somebody is, well, trying to think of the right word now that I can say. I'm going to think it because I have to think it through. We have to be careful, okay? Like someone defected. That's kind of the honor. And after you seeing, before we put this together, and now with everything with Paul, now there's somebody here with bad health, and they're thinking about this. I do not believe that it is Paul. I do not believe that it is his mother. I am concerned about his father And I also want you to know that his father does not believe that Karen did this. But I'm going to also tell you that blood is thicker than water. And I feel that he's doing this to keep the peace. And I also feel that he knows the truth is about to come out. And sometimes you just have to sit back. Yeah. And we're talking about Mr. O'Keefe Sr. there. And he knows that they're not done yet. I don't have my pointer again. Zelda, what are you doing? Hold on. I'm taking what I can get. There we are. You see this card. This has got a lot of movement. This is the Lord of Wind and Breeze. This card is the most action card of the tarot, of the Knights. And you see, I mean, even the trees are bending in the wind, but he's heading into it head on. He's facing things head on. I think this is Mr. O'Keefe. He knows it's not done. He wants to see what's going on. He wants to see what they really have. He's got a little common sense. More than Mama do? More than Mama do? Yeah, more than Mama does. This is going off the card, off the frame of the card, and he knows that it's not done yet. But one thing I want to remind you all, there are little butterflies on the harness here of this little horsey. And that means sometimes, as harsh as it can be, there is an easiness about it. There's calmness coming. There's a resolve coming. And he is also thinking of this card, but he does not have anything to worry about. He's wondering who else is going to go. And tonight, you know, I'm going to say this too. I have to wonder, have they had a party or a get-together? Will they be getting together this weekend and maybe sort of kind of figure things out? The sun is up, and we are talking about Mr. O'Keefe. But let's see, anything here, and justice. Let's just lay these out. Okay, I'll tell you what this means in a minute. We're going to lay out two more. Yes, and yes. Oh, yeah, see? Okay. Here's the consensus of Paul et al., or Paul and his family, is that they feel that this is all except for Mr. O'Keefe, but they feel as though the law and the Lord are on their side. They feel that Lady Justice here will prevail, that there will be a balance. They feel that they have the power. Do you see that red cloak? They feel they have the power. They're keeping the sword up because it has not been ruled on yet. It's amazing, isn't it? We're going to keep getting more and more info. But this is an amazing card to me, this Knight of Pentacles. Do you see how he's just sitting there very quietly? Not doing a thing. Waiting for the opportunity. Waiting for someone to give him the green light to go. Waiting for the jury to come in and say, yes, Karen Reed and the bars owe you $1 gazillion and you're going to be collecting Paul and family. He feels this card technically means that money should be coming. But with him, you see how there's the thought card here? And he's thinking about Karen Reed giving it to him. He is thinking, and this is why his high honors are not such high honors. He's like a defector. Sorry. Not sorry. This card, you see, he's waiting. He's waiting for that announcement. And then the action starts, well, then the money will come. So he's planning on the money. He's counting his shekels right now. He thinks that he's just going to take this by storm. I got news for him. There, you see this card. This is a 7 of wands. This 7 of wands, fiery. But you see the varying lengths of these wands? This means that there's all kinds of obstacles and various lengths coming that he's going to have to overcome. Why? Because he's the one who opened the can of worms. Isn't that nice of him? These 2 cards, they are timing, and it is both benevolent hands coming out talking about money and talking especially about emotions. One is a very earthy card, one is a very watery, emotional. Earthy, grounded. Emotional, well, that's thinking with your head sometimes and not your heart, or thinking about your heart and not your head, not having it together, thinking that his cup is about to run over with all good things coming. But my darlings, let me fix my light here. It's gone a little wonky. But my darlings, I'm going to tell you this. The timing is going to be off, without a doubt. This timing is not going to be in their favor. There's a lot more that has to happen, and we're going to find that out, and we're going to lay out those cards. And here we go with the Mythic Tarot. Oh boy, we love to see this one, don't we? Here we go. Here's the one where I said the last time, you see all the, let me get my little pointer here. You see all the tongues a-wagging. Paul hates that. He can't stand opposition. Do you remember when he left court and he looked at Karen and he said, "We're not done with you yet"? Well, thank you. Here's something he has walled himself into, and he's not going to be able to get out of it. It's not very pretty. And this angel is sitting back looking at this and saying, what is he doing? Why is he looking toward there when he needs to be looking over here toward me? This has been a continual thing long before John. I think he was jealous of John, in my own opinion, allegedly, supposedly. But I also think that there was a little jealousy about the relationship. Now, one thing that he said in his, in the court filing, was that John and Karen had an argument the night before. Who cares? If you look at the video, oh, they look pretty happy and chummy to me. So what? The only thing that I think, now here's the other thing, they also can open up the discovery and show maybe text messages from John to family. But who doesn't text other people when you have a problem? If I had a nickel for every time someone came to me and said, "Zelda, oh my gosh, we just had this big argument. I hate his guts," I just texted 50 of my friends and told them all what he had done. And then the next day, "Zelda, I was wrong. He brought me flowers and he was just the greatest thing that ever since sliced bread." Well, what are you going to do about those 50 friends? "Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of embarrassed now to tell them that I'm going back to them because they're going to be mad at me." Yeah, but they still know that people have arguments, and that's what it is. And just because Karen and John had an argument doesn't mean she set out to intentionally hit him backwards with going 24 miles an hour and just left him arbitrarily. Did you hear that little thing, just time out a second, when I read it to you before about how Paul left that one girl out in the cold and she had hypothermia. Wow. She wasn't the only one that had chills. I know that's mean, but I had them too when I read that. Because isn't that what they did to John? I wonder, where was Paul that night? What was he doing? They want to say how Karen was intoxicated. Was there a Mickey? This is a card that shows, look, there is a gathering, there is a harvest, the water is coming. This Empress card is basically, and look, well, you know, I'm going to tell you, I think this is a message from Sandra, because in this card, she's expecting a child, and she is happy, and this shows that there is a brand new beginning. So Sandra, if you're sending this through to us, bless you. Bless you, my darling, because she's on her way now for eternal rest. And I got to tell you something. The trial for these monsters, it may not be what it seems to be here on earth, but their big trials are waiting. And John and Sandra and little baby Birchmore is waiting for that trial someday. And believe me, I'm there for it. I'll be there with my popcorn to be watching those trials. And if I can report on it, even then, I will. Here we are, the Devil card. Well, I don't like this Devil card. He looks more like a mythological character, Pan. Do you see this? But look at these people here. Frolicking, not paying attention, but they don't mind getting in trouble, but when they do, the only thing that they are upset about is not that they did it, it's just that they're upset that they got caught. This Devil card, who is also a Capricorn, tells us that Paul, this is a card of obsession. This is a card of anything can be an obsession. Let me say that. Overeating, overindulgence, taking too much prescriptions, you know what I mean? Too much alcohol, too much everything. But I'm going to say he is obsessed with Karen. He wants to get back at her. And I think it all just boils down because she was smart. She is smart. And that tells us. She's smart. She has it together. She had an excellent position. She was, I'm going to say, very comfortable financially. And nobody liked that. And she was not a drinker. She did not fit in. Look at this. She's holding a pomegranate there, which is, I'm going to show you something. Can I show you something, darlings? You see this? Now look. Do you see this waterfall in the back here? And now look out the window. That's confirmation, this high priestess. What is this confirmation? Prayers are answered. This is a spiritual card. The pomegranate is like a Egyptian spiritual in this vintage card deck. You see the high priestess with pomegranates all around her. But the water comes, the reason why there's water here, because all the water in the tarot come from the high priestess. It's all the emotions. Water can heal, but water can also damage. And it depends on how we interact with it. There's even little flowers there. Growth, new beginning. For Paul, that means, you see there is a black pillar and a white one. What does that mean? Well, there's no gray area. It's black and white. It's either going to be yes or it's going to be no, and I really believe that it's going to be no. Here is the Fool. Now, as much as I would like to say that's him, look at his little face. Paul doesn't look that happy ever. This card basically is, you know what? Starting over. There's a new beginning, just like this. Wiping the slate clean. Something is going to happen with Paul. I'm just going to tell you that. I don't know what it is. Please mark this. I do not know. I don't predict bad things happening. But I will tell you, here we are again with this Queen of Swords. And she is saying all of this emotional trash is going down the drain that they're going to be talking about. It won't matter. She is going to make sure with this Queen of Swords that this also is a justice card. She's going to make sure that whatever is started is going to be done correctly. No gray area, only black and white. Let's lay one more card. And yeah, I'm taking a minute, aren't I? Look at this Eight of Wands and look at that ship. You know what this means? Oh my, I love this card. This card, and look at these little fishy. Remember, in the other card, we just see 8 wands striped and coming in. But in the background, there's not really anything. But here, we have this ship. The ship is about to come in. This is news. More news. Quickly and fiery. Good stuff coming and emotional. Look at these little dolphins. They're leading the pack. Why a dolphin? Well, dolphins have a certain intelligence that they can bring messages through. Remember, these are mythological cards. But this ship with these 8 sails all on fire, this is a fiery time. And oh my goodness, yes, it is coming. All right, now here we are. We're going to be putting out the cartomancy. I get so excited. I sit here and I do this a lot. I look up at the clock, it's 9 a.m., then I look again, it's 1 p.m., and I look again, and it's 4 p.m., and I think, and I think, I haven't had anything to eat. Oh, I better get up. Oh, I better do this. And look at this. I lose track of time is what I'm trying to tell you. And you know what? I love you guys so much that I love bringing this to you. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. Here we are. My darlings, here's what this means. The 9 of Spades. It means that Paul's imagination, and I think this was in his last video, that Paul's imagination is just totally gone off the bloody charts. He needs to curb this imagination because he has convinced himself that he is going to be a success with this money, and he is already starting to prepare to spend it. This, how do you like this? Hello. This 5 of Spades is a card in which it shows how frustrated, and since this middle symbol, now I don't read reverse, but I do look at symbols, and since this symbol is now upside down, this is not a good pathway for Paul to be thinking. You know, he has shown that he has had an agenda with this drinking, with these girls, with problems, clear up until now, and he is not going to stop. But there's something here, and this is why I said, uh-oh. And this is Paul. This is why I said, uh-oh. These 2 cards together, the Queen of Spades and the 10 of Spades. I'm going to tell you what this means. I'm going to tell you, you are going to see something. I no longer believe that is Mr. O'Keefe. I'm going to make that very clear. I only thought that because he is older. But I think with everything going down, it would not surprise me if we see one of these false people, bad actors, do something, or you're going to hear or see something about their health or their lives. Now, I'm not going to predict anything like that because I don't do. That's up to God. He's the judge on that. But this does not point in a very good way. Last but not least, here we are, my darlings, the House of Zelda. The House of Zelda. Oh, burning desire. That's Paul. Now that hit my thumb, but I want you to see that. Paul has a burning desire, and I'm going to tell you something. Yes, there was a statute of limitations, and yes, they had to file this. And it doesn't surprise me because this always happens in these types of cases. But you know, you have to have a certain amount of evidence. And just saying that somebody had a fight the night before, he'd better come out, because I'm going to tell you, Karen's attorneys are going to come out and they are just going to whip him. Here we are. There definitely is a problem there, and we are definitely going to see some action. I used to be a cheerleader 100 years ago, and I'm going to tell you this, my darling. You know what we used to say? Action, action, we want action. Now. Do a couple more of these cards. I get started. My. Wait till we go the lives. Oh, my darling. Time is needed. Oh, you know what? That is such a wonderful card to come out. I'm going to tell you what this means. You know, it took over a year for dear sweet Sandra. I think it may be even more than that. Dear sweet, everything happened. Imagine Matthew Farwell tonight. Imagine his wife. Imagine his wife giving birth, and he takes off to take a little break, and tickety boom, and they all lied, and they're all going to go down. We're going to start seeing dominoes. Do you see these candles? Let's count the candles. Let's see, how many is there going to be? 1, 2, 3. There's a little one. Wait, hold on. There's a little one right here, and there's one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's a half of one there, and I'm going to call it 10. There just may be as many as 10 people start going down, and it would not surprise me. But I'm also going to tell you, this can take a little bit of time with Karen Reed. Now, it'll be how many years? Maybe, let's see, this happened in 22, maybe 3 years. But as time goes on, I'm going to tell you, I believe it was because of Sandra Birchmore's case that the feds really started looking into Karen Reed, even though they knew something was up. We're going to see things happen all the way from Auntie Bev, from Morrissey, from Lolly, and it's just going to go tickety, tickety, ticky. But don't get discouraged. The more time they have, the more they get, and the more they get, the more arrests we will see, and that means we need to be thinking about it. We need to be smart about it. Wisdom is needed. One more card. This is serious. Yes, as a matter of fact, it certainly is. I hope you've all enjoyed this reading as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. We're seeing this little stepping stone now. That's why I wanted to bring this to you, but I especially wanted to bring you that intro because that makes me sick. you see what we're dealing with. Everybody knows what we're dealing with here. And I also want to tell you that I am going to really work on going live as soon as possible. I might not wait for 7,000 because I get so excited I just got to get on here and talk. But I may not. But I will announce so you can all prepare when I'm going to be on there. I'm hoping to give you at least a day so you can make, because I all want you to come in, say hi. I'm going to have my cards. We're going to do my thing. And yes, you're going to see my face. And we're going to be smiling. We may even see a little song. We may, whatever the case may be. But we're going to be here. And then when I reach 7,000, we will do the giveaway of the Kipper deck and the video reading. So I want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you. God bless Sandra Birchmore and her baby. May she start the process of resting well. She's now moving on into a better place. Yes, Sandra, we're all thinking of you worldwide. And the same for Karen is about to begin. Stay tuned, friends. Get out the popcorn because this is going to be a wild ride. And I will be here for it. See you soon, everyone. Take care.